You're tuned in to the One-on-One Show with Dr. Lucita.
Welcome to the One-on-One Show.
Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio. With natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear, stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
Posez, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le taxe pour là, dans des postes tout hier, et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons pile l'autre service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui a business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxes, docteur Lucita se mettre causé. Relais pour service taxe pour la Kounia et pour nous éduquer dans taxe. Pour joindre tout corps dans mes ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it. AmeriTrust Insurance Group. We don't just insure, we deliver.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to One-on-One with Dr. Lucita, the show that airs every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. You know why we create One-on-One. We create One-on-One because we want to leave a legacy to our younger generation, because they always think we grow up and we are adult, but they don't know that we had the younger version of ourselves. So One-on-One is to share that part of us with with every young person in this world. So if you have a child between 15, 14, 15, 13 years old, call them. Tell them OneonOne is on, because this is the show that's going to teach them one thing. It doesn't have to be two. About us, how we grew up, who we are, and why we do the things that we do today. Now, take your time. Go call your friend. Go share the live. We'll be right back with our special guest.
Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio with natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear. Stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
Pose, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le tax pour là, dans des postes touillés, et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons plus l'autre service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui gen business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxe. Docteur Lucita se mettre causé. Relais pour service taxe pour la Kounia. Et pour nous éduquer dans le taxe. Pour joindre tout corps ou dans mes ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone nan c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it. AmeriTrust Insurance Group. We don't just insure, we deliver.
I'm back. Oh my gosh, this was a long break, right, guys? Did you guys go ahead and share the live? Did you tell your friends? Because OneonOne is going to be epic. I'm here with one of my, how do I introduce him? Because, we don't introduce our guests because they always have a stories. Their name has a stories. But I'm going to take the liberty in saying I met this guest of mine and we connected. Once we connected, we knew it was important to have a one-on-one with him because his story is so rich. There's so much that we're going to be able to learn from this guest, and this is why we are here to introduce our guest. Hello, guest. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Lucita. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It is a pleasure to be here. I could not be more excited to be here with you.
Oh man, the excitement is me. Because having you here wanting to share your stories, I'm honored. And I appreciate you being here. Now, who are you? What's your name?
My name
Tell
is
us.
Armando Ortega. I am
Wait, say it again.
Armando
For
Ortega.
our Haitian viewers, I want to hear the tongue. Armando
My name is Armando Ortega.
Ortega. All right.
I like to lead with that. My name is to assemble. It means to assemble or to weaponize, to arm. And so I've born with that name. I think God gave me that name to put together things. So that's my name.
See, I see what you just did there. I know where this is leading. So, who named you? Was it your mom? Was it, how did you
Interesting.
get your name?
My aunt, she's my godmother, and she actually named me after an uncle that had a short time on earth. And his life ended due to an accident, and he was a great person. And when I was born, I'm a fifth child, so when I was born, they said we should name him Armando because Armando passed, but it was like almost like a continuation to a legacy that never got to end. So that's how my name came about.
You see, guys, I told you there's always a story. It's always something that we don't know from the people that we are seeing in our works of life. Look, he was a name that passed on from someone else because he's here to assemble. The story is rich already. Now, what can you tell us about your younger? Where did you grow up? How was life?
I was born in 1975 in Puerto Rico, in the island of Puerto Rico, and I actually left the islands when I was 15. So my experience in Puerto Rico was very paramount to my foundation.
Yes, that's what we want to hear.
Yes.
We want to hear the stories. Did you used to be on the street?
Oh, yeah.
What was life like? I want the beginning.
So the great thing about me, as I'm a fifth child, my mom was already an expert. She was 40 years old when she had me, and women have this ability that the older they get, the wiser they are. And so my mom at 40 had me. She already had 4 kids.
Okay.
And so I see that as part of my knowledge that my wisdom comes from my mom. I grew up sleeping in my mom's arm. As a fifth child, she was like my best friend, and she taught me everything that I know until I was 15, which is when I left. But as a child, I was very free to do whatever I wanted. I was very undisciplined in a way. My parents spoiled me. They let me sleep. They checked no homework. And then there was a positive aspect, like I had no curfews. I had no rules, no order to some things. But then, I was very loved and very tight, but my brothers bullied me. So I had this weird mix-up of growing up free, but almost to the point of neglect sometimes. I didn't know I needed glasses until I came to the U.S. So there was aspects of my upbringing that my parents were not paying attention a lot to in my life.
I'm listening to you and I'm going, free bird. So now, anything from 1 through when you go into kindergarten, since you were free, did you go to school? Did they look at your homework? How was that?
So I remember I would lose my shoes and I would get spanked almost every morning because I didn't know where my shoes were or something like that. And so my lessons as a child was like, you got to get organized, you got to have order. But my mom was a hoarder. And so my mom, she had part of her, but what's ironic about my mom, she was a professional. at work, at a high quality job. She worked for police of Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
So even though she lived there at home, she was so tired of raising 4 kids, and she was like, some things that were not the ideal situation as a child. That there were some things that
So
I had
it's
to
safe
learn.
to say you wasn't smart.
Huh?
So you wasn't a smart kid.
I learned.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I actually think that when you're the youngest, you learn the most. You become the most wiser because you have to identify so many people in life, so your brain learns to create characters for each individual in your home. So you have an advantage being the youngest. You get the wisdom of everybody else, what gets people in trouble, how things happen. The dynamics of life are absorbed, I think, at a faster rate.
Give me a story.
Okay, so when I was a child, every weekend it was family, let's go clean up the house, let's do chores around the house. I can tell you, growing up, it was music, salsa, dancing, food, and then chores, like just working with our friends and inviting people in the neighborhood, painting the house, cutting the yard, doing all these kind of things. It was happy memories. I don't have, thankfully, my dad and my mom, until I was 15, which is when they split up, it was a happy home. It was always a good experience.
So if I never visited Puerto Rico for those 15 years, what would you want me to learn about your beautiful country?
Puerto Rico's an island, like all the Caribbean islands. The warmth, the love for food, the love for affection, the love for understanding, the unity, the community. Puerto Rico brings a lot of people together. We love music, we love art. So I would say that would be the main thing. It's our warmth, our essence.
So you as a child, how did you play? What was life on the street look like? Because I want to put that with me in Haiti, right? I grew up there till I was a certain age, but I remember being in the street, running, playing marbles and going up the trees and, being a kid, cooking in the cane. So do you have any memories of those?
100%. So my childhood memories are very vivid and very, very awesome. I had a father that had more of a country life, country like family. So the values and the things that they did for fun were a lot different. And then I had my mom's side of the family, which is more city, and they were more professionals and they did more of different things. Yeah. And so my dad worked for Eastern Airlines back in the day he retired from that and then he retired from United Airlines. So we got to travel a lot. We were a little.
So you were rich.
So we were kind of rich
You
in a
were
way.
a rich
we
kid.
looked rich.
You look rich.
We looked rich because we would travel to the U.S. and we had that benefit as but growing up was going out in the street, having your bicycle, your BMX, and I remember, like you said, the marbles or getting like these little seeds from a tree and you put a string around it and then playing cards.
Yes.
So we had a very
So it was similar life as my life. So did you get in trouble? What did you know? Well, I mean, come on. You left when you were 15. Tell me about your school. Like, did you get in trouble? Any girlfriends? Like, I need to know the early Armando.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know.
I was kind of shy, honestly.
Really?
I mean, I had for some things I would be shy, and then for some other things.
Give me an example of your shyness.
Of my shyness, I would.
Yes. What would make you shy?
Maybe the girls. I wouldn't go talk to a girl. Like, I was kind of shy.
Armando?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
No, wait. I don't see that.
I know, but because I'm outspoken, but I wasn't, like my wife actually picked me. I didn't even have a chance. Like she said, "You're mine." I'm like, "Okay, I'm yours."
Dang, maybe that's what I have to do. I need to go there.
You gotta go like that guy is mine.
Like that guy is mine.
But I was 17.
Because I'm waiting for the guy to come talk to me. So So it may not happen, Armando?
Yeah.
It may not happen. I have to pick up my guy.
You may want to pick him. Maybe
But you
better
know,
off.
different culture. Some cultures doesn't, they look at you too fast when you do that. So in your culture, that's not, if the girl wants you, it doesn't do anything to you?
So, this is where my story shifts. Because at 15, I leave Puerto Rico. I'm still...
Not yet. We're not leaving
Okay.
Puerto Rico yet.
Okay.
We don't want to go to talk
Not
about
yet.
her yet.
Okay,
So you shy.
Okay,
so
I had the first kiss when I was like 13, 14 maybe. And
So my son has his first kiss. He's just not telling me because he's 16. He keeps saying he doesn't have a girlfriend.
yes, and so this it's possible. It's possible. He may have already had some.
He kept making me think it's not true. So at 13, you had yours.
I had my
So
first
Can you
kiss.
remember how it was?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, she was
We don't want somebody to get jealous.
She
so
was
give me the
visiting.
details.
She was visiting from New York, and she was my neighbor's cousin, and she was, so different, not Puerto Rican, more American, and it was the different complexity and all of that. I was like, the first experience of that kiss. It was like I couldn't sleep that day.
So, Armando, you just went straight to the kiss. You didn't tell me how it happened. So you shy. So how did a 13-year-old and you end up kissing?
Oh my God!
Yes, we're going there.
Yeah, it went.
This is one-on-one. I want you sweating.
So it took a lot of effort because I had to time window. They're visiting for like a summer, so it's like you have to fast track that kiss. And at 13, you don't know how to ask for a kiss, or so you're just trying to be friendly and trying to teach them Puerto Rican etiquettes or things that have to do with our culture. And I guess somewhere in between their smiles and
So that was what you used. You used that opportunity for teaching them Puerto Rico, and to say, "Hey, I'll take you around," and to create that friendship.
yes, I'll teach you.
Okay.
I'll teach you
no
something.
other girls in the school? Why her? What made her get the first kiss?
She's actually one of the few that I kissed while I was in Puerto Rico. I didn't kiss too many girls in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Because I was shy. Now I liked girls, but back in the days we was kind of innocent. I know I don't look like the innocent type, but I'm an innocent type of a person.
Okay, so how was school?
Not anymore. I mean, I was. Maybe I've tried.
So
I'm maybe a little bit
so
more.
how was school for you? So how's school in Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
For the kids that are looking and wants to go, the classroom, how's the professors, how's the kids there?
So this is we're talking about 80s. It was different, very different. There wasn't computers back in those days, and that was one of the things I loved coming here. There was no substitute teachers. If a person did not, a teacher was absent, you had a free hour. You can go and get food outside of the school, walk out. There was no supervision like in the United States. So it was a total different experience, the way we let kids do things that maybe here in America we think that you can't let a child or somebody younger do.
Okay. Your dynamic with your brothers.
Oh,
Are they in the same school with you? Did you guys used to get them fight?
Yes, so-
Because I'm 7 of us. My brothers used to fight all the time. In school, I could hear that my last name. Your brother's in detention. This and that. So how you were the last one?
So
How
my
was
dad was military. He was Army. So he would whip us, if we fought. So we weren't allowed to fight. He said, brothers don't fight.
Oh, okay.
Brothers don't fight. Family is blood, and you don't fight. If I catch you fighting, I don't care who's right and who's wrong. I'm gonna hit both of you. So fighting was only behind my dad's back. Because if he caught us fighting, we were gonna get a second beatdown. So that actually taught us a very good principle, and is that we couldn't fight. Now we fought, like I was bullied a lot by my brothers because they were older, and my dad was.
What is the age gap?
From 6 years to 8 years to 11 years.
Oh, wow.
So, and then my sister, those are my male
three
brothers.
brothers,
And then my sister's only 1 year apart. So my sister and I are 1 year apart, but we have a 5-year gap, the first batch and second batch.
Oh. So when you say bully, what does that look like? Go get the shoe. Get out of
Cocotazo,
here.
cocotazo.
What is cocotazo?
Cocotazo means you get your knuckles and then you hit them in the head,
Oh,
So,
we do that.
it was
We call it zoclo.
Soclo.
Zoclo.
Soclo. So for my Haitian friends, Soclo, I got a lot of those, And my brothers we were physical, and it was normal to kind of like hit each other, and especially them to me, more than me to them. But, we played this game as kids, and they taught me to be never give up.
Yeah.
Be strong, which is like mercy. And mercy over there, my brothers literally took it to the extreme. They wanted to break me.
Oh, wow.
And so, I experienced some bullying, like pushing a limit on somebody to see how much rage or mad. Since I was little, they would push those limits, and sometimes it wasn't pleasant. It was like unpleasant, but I never associated that with abuse, because we didn't do it. It wasn't like they were trying to abuse me. It was more like, you're going to learn, and this is the way we teach you, kind of like what we were saying. So it was cultural, and it wasn't seen as, or it wasn't taken that way.
I can understand what you're saying. Is because growing up, they don't want people to take advantage of you. So they're doing it in a way to help you.
To make you
stronger.
Yeah.
But it's when you get older, you're like, that's not the way to do it.
Correct.
Like, why are you beating me up I can be strong? Why can't you educate me, giving me some kind of scenarios and things like that but I have to go to the physical pain to learn? That's the part I didn't understand with that.
It's hard because our parents, education is a valuable tool, and not everybody gets that education, and our parents may not have had that education, and so we have to allow for grace and mercy for that. I have this expression, real love loves imperfection, or must accept imperfection, and in that love of our parents and our brothers, they may have done things that weren't perfect, and we have people like that in our lives that don't do perfect things for us, but if we have love, we have to allow to forgive that imperfection, because all of us have imperfection. So the key is that you don't hold people to heart like they actually are that person, because all of us are becoming someone better. And if you are in that journey, you have to also forgive those that maybe didn't do good at that time. I can't blame my family for what they didn't know, but I can also learn from it and then see what I can do to pass different. Yes.
So in that note, do you have any regrets from your younger Armando?
No, I don't. I love life. I love the journey. I love the process. I love the seeing life evolve. I left Puerto Rico at 15. I'm the only one that, I left, well, not the only one, but I left the youngest, you don't live, your little boy leave. And I was like, my mom and dad split, and I left with my dad, and it was time.
So we're going to talk about that, because we're doing, we're leaving a legacy to our younger generation. We're going to leave Puerto Rico. Now, what advice would you give to your younger self before we move to your mom and dad who left and so on? So before we go to that, if you had an advice while you were growing there, what would you tell yourself today?
Yes, that's a good one. I would say seek intelligence and wisdom early on. Like even professionally, the tools that you can get out there, get educated. There's things that you don't know that can help you right now. There's things that you don't know that will make your life twice easier, 5 times easier, 10 times easier, just because one thing that you read, or maybe somebody that gives you advice. So you have to be willing to learn that you don't know things so that other people can teach you and expand your world.
So basically, you got to learn every day.
Yes.
You got to be putting yourself in a position to not knowing it. Because what I tell people, once you put in a position that you know everything, that's when you stop living.
Correct.
Because there's always something to gain. So now you talked about being the youngest. You talked about you leaving at 15 and your parents got divorced. You mind sharing that with us a little?
Sure. Very unique situation. They never got divorced. They just split. To this day, they're together, but they're not together. He lives in Louisiana and in Puerto Rico. My dad is a man of his word, so even though he's separated, he didn't leave her, never stop providing for my mom and the house in Puerto Rico. And it.
Okay, I'm gonna pick a Puerto Rican guy. It's official.
I don't know if all Puerto Ricans will do that.
What? Daddy just separated, but he took care of everything.
But yes, my dad has always still been responsible because he feels like that. He feels like that was his duty. And my dad plays a significant role in character of who I am because my dad is a happy person, and he's always done the best of his ability, even if in his shortcomings that I could say like, man, my dad didn't even know that, but it's because he didn't know that. Like he treats or did things that it was based on ignorance, not on evilness or not doing something on purpose. So it's allowing for that, I would say.
So leaving Puerto Rico, was it by choice? Was it they splitting and you had to go somewhere? What? I mean,
Yes.
Puerto Rico is like United States. You don't need a visa. You don't need anything.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So,
I actually now I think about that, and basically I'm assuming that my mom and dad were having some issues, and I remember my mom telling me, "You have a choice, son. You can go with your dad to Florida, or you can stay here in Puerto Rico with me and your sister." And at that point, I had already traveled to the U.S. multiple times, and I had seen the greatness of the United States and the potential of learning English and being more or expanding my horizons. I said, I want to go to the U.S. And so I had the tough choice of becoming a man almost, like leaving my mom, my best friend, my mentor. But it was grow time for me. Yeah. It was grow time. And from that moment on, my life changed. I had to become someone that had to adapt to this new world called the United States with a different culture, different language, different politics, different everything.
So what was the most difficult thing that you can remember in that transition?
English could be number one, learning English. And
so school was hard? Did you get friends? Did you start going to school? How was that?
It was difficult. I had to go to an ESOL school, and I had to ride my bike around, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, just to get to a bus stop, so that they can pick me up to get to a further school, to go to like 7 classes where only like one of them was in English and everything else was, one was in Spanish and the rest were in English, so I was so lost. And that was hard, just wanting to communicate. And this is everybody can relate to this. When you want to talk to somebody and you can't, that's what happens when you're going from a language culture. So I couldn't say something. I couldn't understand what people were saying. And that was frustrating because I think that's the essence of life. It's not just living, but it's how can I live with you? If I could communicate with you, what can we do together?
So you're in school, you are unable to communicate, but Spanish is the second language in the United States. So there wasn't enough bilingual person for you or teachers? Because around that time, where are you?
So yeah, we moved to Florida, and then Florida, we're in Broward County, in a a city called Davie. Now, Davie is a weird place in South Florida. If you look it up, it's Western, like if it was like the cowboys.
Yeah,
horses, where even the ordinance in that city is that everything has to look Western. So people, my brother married an American that she was an equestrian, and she went to like rodeos all in Davie. Davie has a rodeo ring. Yeah, it's in Broward County, and so I go from Puerto Rico to Davie. I get so confused because I'm thinking the United States is like, oh, it's like country. Wow.
And then here you are.
Yeah.
As a cowboy.
Yeah. I'm like, and then I realized, like,
so
no.
what made your dad end up? Did you guys ever discuss how he ended up in Davie?
My aunt lived in Davie. She lived in Davie, and so then my brother came to the U.S. Fell in love with a beautiful girl from here, and then had a baby out of wedlock, and that became Davie's hometown. That's why we ended up in Davie.
We ended up in Davie. So what's the most beautiful things about Davie? Being 15, now you're in school, you're living your whole life. Tell us about Davie. How was life there?
So Davie was great. I always love to learn something that I don't know. And I think that's the spark of life. What can you learn that you don't know? So it was a learning experience to know people and learning the language and seeing what I could become. I would bother my cousins every day to teach me a word and telling me, how can I say that word? Make sure I said it right, because it wasn't just learning English, but I wanted to sound like I had a good English. Like I wanted to...
The articulation.
Yeah, articulation and like being able to express pronunciation. And so it was the experience of learning English. For me then, it became beautiful. I loved learning English, being able to say that I came from Puerto Rico and I'm expanding my horizons. I didn't know what was going to happen. High school became then better. We moved to a school closer to Davie. I didn't have to go to a school outside of my area, and it became great. I started to form my identity, and I've always been very friendly. I love people. Nice. I love, there wasn't that many Latins, but there was a black community in Davie. Okay. And so we were two minorities, and they would come together because it was like the bigger, smaller minorities, so the Spanish and the blacks. And I became very associated with black and the Latinos from different parts of Latin America. I didn't know what a green card was. Again, from Puerto Rico, I was naive. I had no idea what this was. But then I learned, and I started expanding my world and seeing how international, how diverse humanity is, and how valuable we all are, really.
Wow. So being in Davie, I'm still there. Cowboys, horses, right? Was there horses?
Yes.
Was there every form of animals and stuff like that? So what was your 15? What can you remember you doing at that time? As a teenager?
As a teenager, I wanted to explore. So my brother wanted me to come here and play football because he played football. I never got to play football.
The American football?
American football.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, American football. I never got to play, and then I got to get a scuba diving license because my brother loved scuba diving. So I was like, wow, we get to go scuba diving, get certified. I was able to do that, and then I got my first job at a body shop. Like my brother would paint cars, and then the other would like details cars, like cleaning cars. In Puerto Rico, that's like a religion. On the weekends, you have to take your car and like clean it up and like to an exaggeration.
Because that's where you're gonna see the girls.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure.
That's like your house.
We do that in Haitian too, because Saturday night, that's the night.
That's exactly
so the car
right.
gotta smell good. You gotta look good. So you guys, that was your.
So that was my first job. So like cleaning cars with my brother. I was 15, and we would go to he started a business, so he would go to people's houses and detail their cars.
Nice.
So that was kind of like the first job that I
You
did when I
started.
was at 15, just
Okay.
washing cars.
And from there,
From there, job-wise,
job, life.
okay, let's see. So
Remember, I
15,
told you.
yeah.
I want to know every inches of your life. For people who sees Armando, I'm sure you guys didn't know that he used to wash car because you seen this big multi-whatever guy. And now to see his past. So remember, our young kids, that's what we want you to see. We want you to see we started from somewhere. We did not just wake up and then we doing everything you see us doing. So now we're going to take a quick break because we're going to come back with the older version Armando.
Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio with natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear. Stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
Pose, pa fè tèt chou. Ou tap chache yon kompany serye pou fè l tax po la nan de pof tèt ou ye a, ebyen chwa pa lot kote. Lusita Accounting Firm. Nou gen plus ke 22 ans eksperyans non sel lokasyon. Pot nou louvri depi l fè 9 pou rive 7. Konsultasyon nou gratis. Nou gen pilot servis nou ba anko. Nou fè l tax individuel. Tax pou moun ki gen business. Nou fè audit pou assurance tax. Tax konsultasyon. Nan zafè tax, Dr. Lucita se met koze a. Rele pou servis tax por la kounya e pou n'edike ou nan tax ou. Pou jwen tout kob ou nan me ARS sans manke yon yota. Telefon nan se 770 319 91 81. Adres nou se Atlanta, Georgia.
I know you guys are having fun because I'm having a beautiful time behind the scene because my guest is getting ready to share with us all the stuff that I've been pulling, but he's remembering. So now, Mr. Armando, let's continue with you and Davey.
Yes, David.
Davey, Florida.
So 1990, it's
Yes.
actually interesting times. The internet is unfolding, AOL,
Yes.
the internet, and I was so excited to be like, what is this internet thing? And, to me, it was fascinating. Technology changes everything. And, if you know AI is coming. But anyways, we'll go into that later. Internet websites, to me, was fascinating to see how I can learn that and then use that to be successful. You can use that as a tool. So I grew up in this time where, I love technology and I started learning about programs. That's like when we had like Snapster and like all these shows and I remember growing up, some of this technology that never existed, like MP3s and music, all of that transformed the times that we're living today. And I was part of that transition, and that to me was exciting, just going
That's
through
cool.
that.
So did you get to work on that branch at all? Did you?
I still work till today.
You still work as an IT?
Yeah, like I not so much for like to work, but for as a hobby.
For your
I
hobby.
have my own servers and I have my own
Look
like
at
stuff that I love to do.
So then
technology.
call you and be like, I need your help. See, I'm learning so much about one-on-one. So is there somebody in Davie that changed your life that you can remember?
There was this beautiful girl. Her name was Natalie Day. She's watching. She's gonna be like, oh my God.
Hey, Natalie.
No, she was a Haitian girl, and there was, like I said, there was a mixture of blacks and Latinos that came together. And I didn't get to play sports because my dad was transitioning through work. Eastern Airline went on strike, and then he didn't have a job. I couldn't get insurance. I couldn't play sports, and I became. I was like, the next best thing was doing something that was fun, and it was stepping. And then stepping
so you were a stepper.
I was a stepper.
Can I move the rug and see you do a little stepping for me?
We used to do flips and everything. I was actually the guy that would do the flip, unless you have somebody here.
Oh, I need a video. If anybody's watching this, what school was that at that time, please?
Western High School.
Western High. I need a videotape of Mr. Armando flipping.
Yeah.
Not regular stepping, flipping.
Western Wildcats. We were stepping, and it was so fun. I remember going to school and doing a pep rally. I had never been in a pep rally. I'm like, they took us out of class. Oh, there's a pep rally. What is a pep rally?
Yeah.
And then they sat us inside, and I remember
it's always inside the
auditorium, and I got goosebumps because I had never been in a pep rally. I'm like, wow, this is so exciting.
So many people.
This is great. So I love the American culture. I've always loved the expansion of going from one way of thinking to a even bigger way of thinking. So that's what I love.
So if you had to say something nice to somebody that shaped your life, what would it be? Look at the smile.
It's been great knowing you.
Trouble in paradise. So that's awesome. So now, what happened to Davie? Tell us, your adult life. So you end up living Davie, or you did all your life there?
Yeah, so there's East Davie, West Davie. We from there moved to West Davie. They have one of the largest or longest malls in America called Sawgrass Mills Mall in Broward County. And as I started going to school at 17, I met my future wife, and we got married at 20. So from 17 to 20, we were just dating. I dated.
Is that the wife I know?
That's the wife I know?
So you guys met at 17.
I was 17. She was 20.
She was. She's the one who picked you.
She
was like, yeah, that's 17.
I'm still gonna press charges on her. I was a minor.
You were minor.
She abused me.
On
She abused me.
You see, a woman can abuse a man, but he didn't say no, guys. So I'm assuming it wasn't a bad abuse, because 20-something years later, he's still taking the punishment.
Yes,
so
I love
it. So you met her. How did you meet her? Was it in high school?
So I went to school with her sister. She's Puerto Rican also, and because she was Puerto Rican, her sister was Puerto Rican. We used to hang out with the same crowds, and then her sister ended up, getting married while she's in high school. And again, so I'm like, I got invited to that wedding, at a house wedding, right? And when she sees me, she says that she was in shock. Like she was like struck. They say struck.
Struck by lightning.
Like love struck, and
Struck
she
by
says that
Armando.
she said, "Who is that guy?" And then they said, "Oh, that's Bebe."
Bebe.
Because they used to call me Bebe.
So you didn't tell us that in the beginning
I
of the
forgot.
introduction.
No, now it comes back.
Look,
so they call me
the
Bebe.
The interview would have been with Bebe, not Armando.
I
like Bebe.
Bebe.
All right, Bebe.
So Bebe means baby, and I was the youngest. So he's like, that's Bebe. He's like, oh, I like Bebe. He's mine.
Yes.
And she says, he's mine. And she kind of said it in a jokey way, but then it became a reality.
How?
Because what you say, maybe.
I know that with affirmation, what you say is what your life will become. But I want to know the steps. When she said you're gonna become hers, did you go after her? What happened? So I need to know the story.
So
we're in story time.
Competition started because my best friend fell in love with her. So she was like.
She was the hot stuff.
She was like the hot, item to
The
get.
hot commodity. I want a picture.
She's that trophy, and But my best friend, he was very GQ. He was very strategic. He had the flowers. He had the poem. He had
my
the song. I mean, I had
He was the man I
hard
would pick.
competition.
Wow.
I mean, he had like take
The
care of
hair, that
everything. He had
curly-
everything. He had the suit. He had everything. So I was like,
Damn.
I honestly, I've had.
And he wasn't 17.
No, he was actually 18. He was older,
1 year older
1
than
year
you.
older. And Anita and all of us, actually, my wife, we started hanging out together, and he was always trying to impress her. And I was always cool, but I never tried to impress her because I didn't know she liked me. Plus, I wasn't trying to impress her.
Plus, you were 17. You
But
was
I
trying
did
to finish high school.
Yeah, I did tell my friend Joel. I said, I'll get her before you, and he laughed. So that it became kind of like the joke, like, you know, this Puerto Rican girl, she's so hot, whatever. And I was like, you know, we started hanging out, and as we're hanging out, she tells me, her cousin, her boy cousin tells me, I got to talk to you. I'm like, okay, what is it? He's like, my cousin likes you. I'm like, what? Who? And I'm not thinking of her because she's
No.
3 years older than me. I'm 17. I mean, she has a car, a job, and money. I have none of those things. And
She's established.
and I was like, wow. So this is really what made me and make our marriage successful, is that if somebody deposits something in you that you see of value and you treasure it, I saw that as I need to pay that back.
Oh,
Because I said, if she dared fall in love with me without knowing me, I need to pay her back with loving her, even if I don't know who she is.
I'm marrying a Puerto Rican. It's official. Armando, find me my husband today. Do you hear me? This one-on-one is not about you anymore. It's about me finding my husband. And he has to be Puerto Rican.
We're going to find you a Puerto Rican man.
I'm done. So now you deposited in her the love. So now, what was the first step?
So it was, for her, it was love at first sight, and then
my
we spent like 2-3 months, and then I find this out, and then we actually fall in love. We start our journey of being
Armando,
together.
you went too fast. What did you do, Armando?
What did I
you go
do?
talk to her? Did she come and grab you and say, "Hey, wake up, I like you"?
Her
Or you
cousin.
just don't remember? 'Cause
No, I remember. So I remember the first kiss. I remember everything. I remember that I didn't go to her. She didn't even come to me. She sent her cousin. And then when I found out about it, then I'm like, okay. So we started talking. We went out. Like I was in shock that she liked me. Why would she like me? I am the kid that you met, that you probably have a friend like this, that he's happy, he doesn't care, and he might switch channels very fast, and he could come up with ideas really fast. That was me. I was just a happy guy. I'm not gonna just focus on something, especially at that age. To me, it was okay. I wanted to know what this was going to become. And it really was a journey of learning what a woman is. A woman is such a complex thing. You know, it's like the rarest thing. We all have this identity that we don't know. And my wife was, to me, the biggest mystery, to know what
What did she see in you?
no, what was she about?
What was she about?
What was she about? What if somebody comes off the street and says, I like you, and you don't even know that was coming? You're going to be like, why would you like me? And you've been observing me. And I'm an observer. I pay attention to all the details. I think that's my mom power. And then, you know, like, I wanted to know what her depth was. Why would you love me? And we had this conversation actually recently, and I asked her, don't you think that was supernatural, that at an age where, number one, my wife is not somebody that say like random things to strangers. She doesn't talk to people too much. That's her part of her character. And at that age, for her to say like, this is it, it's very supernatural. So I do believe that our relationship is very spiritual.
Awesome. Then we're going to jump because I know that there's so much into that. So do you want to go, how do you become, because I know you had a church, a mega church at that. Do you want to jump, because you're talking about spiritual, do you want to get to that?
We could talk
and
about it, sure.
So tell me, So tell me about how did all that started? Your spirituality, and so on.
So our journey at 17, we were still broken. We come from broken homes. Most of our families, sometimes they're beautiful, but they have cracks in them, and those cracks, like I said, you have to have mercy and love to seal those cracks. And so she had cracks, my family had cracks, and then as we came together, we had to learn about each other. We had to learn, and there were some obstacles there. There were some shadows of our past that we had to overcome, and church for us became a refuge, a place of healing, a place of coming, to a higher power, to understanding that we need something. So at that age, we started participating at a youth group, and in this youth group, we didn't know it was a small group. It was like maybe like 15, 20 people of a church that was starting, and then we became part of the youth of the church. The youth of the church started growing faster than the actual church. So I was the senior pastor of the church. We became kind of like members of the youth, and then we became later leaders of the youth, and then later we became like deacons of the church, and then later we became ministers of the church, like ordained minister. And then
how many people would you say you were leading at one point?
So in the youth, my wife and I had the youth, and we had about 1,000 youth. And then the church itself had around 6,000 to 8,000 people fluctuating. And
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, this is a church in South Florida, Segadores de Vida, and it means harvesters of life.
So at 17, how did you know that? So you went just to church for refuge, and then it just happened.
So it became
so. Did you go to school to become a pastor? So what happened?
We got really heavily involved. We loved now doing a lot of the community church. At first, it started as a youth, like we said, and it was preaching the gospel, telling people about God and coming to Christ, and it became a very community-based thing. And we had youth groups. We had a lot of youth groups, and the church started growing. It's called a cell group church. Is when people go to the church, but they actually have groups throughout the week, and they get together. So this started expanding and growing. I went to Guatemala. The church went through a transition where it got stuck at around 300, right? 300 members. And so once you hit that plateau, we actually were looking for other mega churches to learn from. And there's a church, Casa de Dios, which is a house of God in Guatemala by the pastor Cash Luna. And we went there to learn about establishing the cell group member church. And when we did that, it took a year to grow that, to actually educate ourselves on how to do it. And when we launched that, the church exploded. It was just year after year, month after month. And then it became events, and it created, retreats, and it created all kinds of community outreaches. It became a lifestyle, and we did that for 20 years in South Florida.
So the whole time, you guys are leading a church. How was that?
It was incredible. So we were gratified by the ability to help people. There's nothing more important than to help somebody else. If you're in need of changing your life, the easiest way to do that is by helping somebody else. And so the church allows for you to help other people. And so for us, it became a passionate thing. We are meant to be like God's heart, which is to be pure, to be whole, to be complete, to give the best. And we embodied that essence of let's give our best to God. And so it was a flourishing time for us. It was a time to give and to create part of what we have as our character today.
Would you say that shaped your relationship with your wife a lot?
100%.
Having to do this?
We wouldn't be here if God had not intervened in our marriage, because we, unfortunately, you need something bigger than your perspective to see a bigger angle. Just think about it. If this camera, we move it over here, then you can see a different angle. But the way it's positioned, you can only see so much. It's the same with life. If you don't change the angle of what you can perceive, you cannot really see everything about it. So church allowed me, and coming to God, when you come to God, you change the perspective, because now it's not about you coming this way. It's about understanding that we have a higher being that we have to respond to. So that third perspective, we called it the triangle. That triangle is that when you're on the bottom and your wife is on the other side, as you come closer together to the top to get closer to God, you also come closer to each other. So church taught us principles of communication, of learning what love is, what forgiveness is. And that's the biggest example of love, is when you surrender. When I say I'm sorry, or forgive me, or let's talk about this. So church gave us a huge foundation for who we are today.
Are you still in church?
Yes.
You still lead a church?
So we don't lead that church. We're not part of that church. We, our biggest life commitment is our church, really. Like, we don't see church the same way as a building, or because, and I like to emphasize that, because Jesus never emphasized on going to a building. He says church in the kingdom is within you, right? And so there is a transition of our what you call religious, being religious and being spiritual. And so I feel like, the transition of the most important thing that you can become is more spiritual, not religious. And a lot of times that's what we actually had I wouldn't say a breakaway, but I would just say an unfolding of what I had to learn in the journey of life. Not everything that you are experienced is your whole picture, because you can find more things the more you learn about life, listen and pay attention. Now your life starts to expand and have high resolution. I like to observe that there's more things happening right now. And if you think about it, if you pay attention to what's about to happen or what's happening parallel, then your reality changes, because you're aware, and this awareness changes the way you live.
It's funny you say that, because for me, I tell people we have two consciences. Like, we are God, right? And we constantly hearing things that are happening to us.
Yes.
It's within. So if we take a moment, like I tell people, meditation, it's the answers to your prayers. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, right? You pray for something, and then you wait for it to happen. So if you sit with yourself long enough, the answer will come.
Correct.
So listening to you, so is it the same transition? Here you are leading this church. You're doing the God's work. But within, there was another transition that was happening.
Yes.
So that's why today you are the person that you are. So can you share with us that transition? What was happening within that makes you decided, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
this
make
is
that
great,
change.
great.
Yes.
I actually started questioning what didn't add up. There's everything, all of us have a way to know what's fair. When you meet somebody, you have an instinct. And that instinct never fails you. You know when somebody is deceiving, because if you observe them enough, you know if they're lying to you, if they're doing another thing. And so the truth is that we're all imperfect, but we are not all evil. And some people have a level of evilness that's higher than others, just like some people have a ability to love higher than others. And so it allowed me to see beyond the stage. I could see the behind the scenes. I could see behind the scenes. And what started happening is, like, I need to be true. I need to be whole. And you can't be true or whole until you see the full picture. And so for me, it was, some people might call a rebellion stage, but I call it a revelation stage, because if you don't know, then you're talking out of place. Most people like to talk out of something that they think it is, but some people talk from a place that they know. And so for me, I don't like to talk because I think, I want to know. And so that was part of the journey. We had to, escape or get out of something that it still had a void. And that void was part of me that I, and this is very personal, and this is what this is one-on-one is, so I hope this blesses many people.
Yes, please.
When I leave Puerto Rico, part of my nature is to explore. And as I wanted to explore, that included sinning. That included like exploring life, like doing all these things that you watch on television. And so when I get into the Christianity and into God, it totally throws off that plan. I am like, I can't be a sinner now. I got to be a saint. And so my life as as a saint, if you want to call it that, right? It's like, like I say that,
Yeah.
like a phrase,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Like trying to be righteous and living everything by God.
Especially you're a leader. You're an
Correct.
example.
An example, a youth leader, a church leader, a
Yes.
man's leader.
Yes.
And I we did everything.
You
And so,
sneeze, everybody want to know why. you know, 'cause
exactly.
That's the,
And so when I get out and when I actually, I say, you know what, I think something is missing. And I wanted to sin. I wanted to sin. I wanted to know what sin was. And it was also almost like I understood when the Bible says you carry sin, because in order to know sin, you must carry sin. And so sin was something that I'm like, I need to know what sin is, because we talk about the sinners, but we're supposed to love our enemies. And
Yes.
so this was a big thing for me.
So did
And
you sin?
I sinned all I could,
What did you
and
do?
then
Give me an example, because this one is getting
I
serious.
I explored, I explored drugs, I explored, like understanding that, like this partying and all this type of lifestyle.
So you lived.
I lived, the experience of.
But after 20 years of serving,
Correct.
you decided that.
Yeah, me and my wife, and again, maybe this is like pronounced,
So
but
this is why we're doing this. One-on-one is for our younger generation. They have to know that experimenting, if you don't do it at a younger age, you're going to do it one way or the other.
yeah, and it
So
teaches
go
you.
ahead, yeah.
Life taught us a lot. And again, as we're doing that, we're actually transitioning from South Florida to Georgia, and we've been here now 11 years. And this was the transition of life of raising kids. We raised 4 kids. We
I thought you guys didn't have kids.
Yeah, we have 4 kids,
Nice.
one adopted and 3 biological.
Nice.
And our adopted child came as we were raising our own kids. And so she's 40 today, and my kids
God.
are 26,
Happy
23,
birthday.
and
Can you
21.
please tell her happy birthday on the podcast, please?
Happy birthday.
Not just happy birthday. Oh, wow. So she's like my daughter. My daughter born October 2nd. Oh, my God. Let me take the time. On this one-on-one, I want to send a special shout out to my beautiful daughter who just turned 21 years old. You have a full life ahead of you. You have a lot that you have to accomplish. I know you're a great kid, but I know you're going to do better things. You're going to do great things. And you have a full future. This one-on-one is for you, my baby girl. You're always going to be my child, no matter how old you get. Mommy loves you, and keep flourishing.
I love that. What a great blessing from a mother. And that's what we were talking about earlier, like to be able to see that and see that announcement and like that love that you have for your daughter is inspiring, because that's what the audience is here listening to, is your love and seeing how we can love our kids and making a difference for them. So going back to that topic, we basically learned the lesson of what I call the abstract or the pendulum swing. Like, one side, but then we learn the other. And so now we are at the phase of life where we're actually creating the best years of our life. Life starts at 50, and so.
I'm so sorry, Armando. Like, you were in church. You raised 4 kids. And you want to be sin. So at 50, look, I'm stuck on that. I'm sorry. And then you decided that you want to be. So what happened? People would call it midlife crisis. They would give it any name. What shift? What happened?
I think life is about learning what your purpose is and knowing what you're supposed to do. Not everybody's called to do the same thing. And your convictions should drive your life. There's something that each of us have to do. You were put on this earth to fulfill a purpose. You're not here to live and die, to eat and go to the bathroom and to take a shower and go to to sleep. That's only part of it, but there is a great purpose in your life. And if you if you go dig deep into your heart, into your treasure, you will find out there's special gifts put inside of you that fit the world and to heal it and to make it richer and to make it better. And your job is to learn and remember what it is that you're supposed to do, because you are the blessing to that person that's waiting for that miracle. You're the answer to that prayer. You are the one that can listen, lend an ear, sometimes a hug, and that makes a difference. Bringing a plate of food, we are the solution to the world. We have to accept that, believe it, and then act upon it. Today, do something. Don't let if you watching this right now, I want you to go do something that you weren't going to do. Go make a phone call to your mom, to your dad, to your brother, to your friend. Tell them you love them. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I forgive you. This is the purpose. And that's what I want to bring it back to. It's like your life, my life, everything that I've done has to have a purpose. I needed to feel and experience that in order to be able to speak about it. I consider myself like the prodigal son. That the prodigal son in the Bible, he said that he took the money of the father and said, I'm going to go do some other stuff. I need to learn. And then when he comes back with knowledge, and he's celebrated because there's the wisdom that you bring. And so this is a return of what you learn. Life is not a number. We think aging is a number. Aging is not a number. Aging is just a reference. Time does not exist. You have a purpose. Focus on your purpose and live your life as if time does not matter. Make sure you do what you got to do.
What a powerful message. I don't think you left the church, because this was right here. That was a sermon for the people that are in church. So life is a purpose. And this is what I always tell people. A lot of people, when they reach a certain age, they like, I don't want to do anything. I'm done with life. And just living.
Yes.
Leave a legacy.
Yes.
Do something so other people can say, Lucida was here.
Yes.
Armando was here. What are you doing so people can say you were here? And that's how we're going to transition to the person that you are today.
Yes.
Now let's talk about zero energy development.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so
thank you. Zero energy developments is reshaping the way houses are made. We have made houses in the last 50 years, and the technology has not changed. And what people don't know is that our houses are not healthy.
Wow.
Our houses are not efficient. Our houses are not advancing to the technology and the things that are happening today. And that's important because you're paying for that house. And so you might be paying to get sick. You might be paying to have higher bills. You might be paying to not have that resilience in your house. Our houses are considering all the things that people stop paying attention to, and we're bringing it back into the house.
You just went so fast, so far. So zero energy development, it's your company that you're starting because you believe that the houses that we are spending 300, 400, 500,000 or millions are killing us. Is it something in the chemical? Is it something in the way it's built? So tell us, why do you feel like it's killing us? Because if somebody said this to me 10 minutes ago, I would tell them they're lying.
Yeah.
But now, hearing you saying that, now I'm curious to know.
Yes.
Why? How?
Important message to everybody to hear that our houses are not the secure place that you think they are.
Wow.
There's mildew in 70% of the homes, and people don't know that. People are getting sick, and they don't. We're in the sickest time in history,
Yes.
and we have the best medicine. Supposedly, we know how to harvest our own food, but we have an epidemic, and so that epidemic is coming. And this is a collaborator to that. I can't say that this is the reason, but we are seeing that our houses have lacked the attention that they've needed. We've learned to advance in certain things, right? Technology advances in your phone, in your car, and we haven't taken that technology into the houses yet, which is where we spend the most time and where you're living, where you're growing a business or where you're raising your family, where you're spending your time. And this is a vital, important part of life.
So are you building houses?
Yes.
Right now?
So I want to tell you
Do
the
we have
story.
any? Yeah, tell us the story. And
I want to
don't
give
know
it
if
from
you
the
have-
beginning because in reality, I am a co-founder. Both me and my wife work for this company. And the founder, Bernard Ostra, he is a passionate person that he introduced me to this development. I had the dream, like, to be able to get into a place that can create wealth and abundance. You know, there's one thing is wealth and one thing is love. Love and wealth are similar, they're close, but this financial wealth is not related to love. I already created a perfect life of raising a family and doing, marriage, right? But now I was like, what do we do to create abundance? Like, I've always had the dream to, I would tell my wife, it's not a matter if we're going to be rich. It's a matter of when. And so we started praying, and I met Bernard, and he told me, I dream. He was raised in construction. His father was a builder, and he found out that passive homes in Europe can produce more electricity than they spend. So they pay for themselves. And so his dream was to create a better house. Since I come from church, going from a small church to making a mega church and being part of everything that grew that church, I have the understanding and the capacity to assemble. My name is to assemble. I said, look, if you give me the opportunity, I can partner with you, and I can assure you we can build this. Wow. And so two and a half years ago, we took this decision to build a company to where we are today. It's been a journey, to say the least, because getting into development is a whole new aspect of work that you are having to learn everything in that industry. And to make things even more interesting is that my vision is to be able to raise capital for this type of developments, because these have to happen all across America. Our vision is to go national. So we're starting here in Georgia because there's a need for these houses right here. There's a shortage in Atlanta, 40,000 homes as of last year. Wow. So we are in a shortage of homes, and that's why we have a crisis in prices. We have a crisis in houses right now because there's not enough houses. So when my partner told me that, I said, you can count on me if you're fair with me, and he is, which is why I love it. Nice. I said, I want to do this with you. And so my wife and I, she's been a year now with Zero Energy Developments, we've been raising capital and then putting lands on contracts for developments, both in Atlanta, north of Atlanta, and literally expanding to people that have other lands that they want to put our development in their land.
Now tell us about those little developments. What is the size of the house, square footage? What should we be looking to get out of those homes? Just,
Yeah, perfect. So we are making what they call the particular house 1,340 square foot all the way to 3,100 square feet.
Okay, so mini mansion.
Yeah, it's like very comfortable starting home. It's a house that comes standard with solar power, battery backup. It has complete filtration for the house on the air, so you can monitor the quality of your air. People don't know the levels of carbon monoxide that you might have in your house. So the technology will allow for you to know the quality of your air. The way that houses are built today is as if you turn on the air conditioner in your car and then you crack the window open. It would not keep the car cool because you have a window open. There is an equivalent of a 4-foot window right now in your house that is air escaping, energy escaping, your money's going away because the way the houses are built. So our houses are sealed. We have water filtration that not just for the spigots, and also where you take a shower, also if you bathe your dog, or even if the water that you're putting on your plants, we make sure that your water in the whole house is filtered. Because water is really important. It's vital. It's vital. We're putting copper lines or highly regulated, like medical grade type of piping.
So from all the supplies are calculated that goes into those houses.
Everything is
it's
considered.
Yes, it's all considered for your health.
For your
Just to
health,
make sure.
efficiency, and community. I think communities is probably something that you'll love, which is we've lost the ability to connect with one another. And this is important because if you don't have good communities, people don't come together. We need to have a place that we come together. So the way we design our communities is with that in mind. Like we think the way that the streets are built, the way the houses are shaped, the way that the amenities inside actually create community.
Yeah, create a sense of family oriented. So we're not locked up in our private little space.
Yes, yes.
So it open space for
open space.
gathering.
We even all our communities will have a community garden. That community garden
So we can
will
get
be
our plants, our
yes, and so it'll do two things. It'll actually get you to share, like people can actually share goods and work together, and it'll also educate people because we forgot to connect to Mother Nature.
Yes.
Mother Nature is calling us back.
Yes.
We're in a transition phase where everything that Mother Nature is trying to tell us, hey, come together. Sustainability is the word of Mother Nature. So we're wanting to teach that sustainability so people learn how to grow their own food, know what time to plant those plants, how to take care of those plants, what irrigation system, what is the soil condition. All these things, we actually have like programs that are creating these initiatives for the neighborhoods.
How do I get involved? I'm ready for my own little.
Yes, Zendev Homes, ZENDEV Homes, ZendevHomes.com. You can find out more information there. We are looking for investors, people that are looking to accredited investors only. We have a fund that is open. We have a $10 million fund, and because we want to continue to buy land and continue to build.
So have you built already?
So we have not built the actual first neighborhood. We actually are under contract for 72 acres in Ball Ground, Georgia. This is going to be yielding 64 to 84 homes, depending on the final layout of the property right now.
Okay. So right now the phase is looking for funds before the actual properties actually built.
Correct.
So if people want to get one of those properties, they reach out to you.
Yeah, they can actually contact us, and then they can find out more. We have properties in Atlanta and north of Atlanta that we're looking to develop. So if they want to learn more, they can definitely reach out directly to us.
That's interesting. So now that I know about zero energy development, there's a few questions that we always ask our guests because this is what makes one-on-one what it is. But before we go to those questions, you said something. You always tell your wife that we're gonna be rich, but it's a matter of when.
Yes.
That stayed with me. Tell me about that.
I think we can make our future. And if you can think of where you want to be and you have the patience, you should know that you're going to get there. So your imagination is your destination. Your imagination is your power to see yourself where you want to be. So if you think of yourself as a specific goal, who should take that away from you? No one, because no one can. Now, there could be voices of people in your life telling you you're not good enough, or that's not you, or you can't do that. There is nothing impossible for those who believe. So if you can hold a thought in your mind, you can make that happen. And so for me, I always held the thought of being wealthy and rich. In Puerto Rico, rich is not a bad word. Like sometimes people say rich and they use that as a negative. But to me, even when you taste good food in Spanish, you say it's rich.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, que rico,
Que rico.
you know, and that's what rich means. So when I say in my brain, or when my brain says rich, I didn't see,
beautiful.
it
It's
was,
luxury.
everything was perfect, not just money, but harmony of complete abundance of that richness. And so I would tell my wife, it's not a matter of, if we're going to get that, it's more of when it's time to get that, because not all is about money. Sometimes if we focus about money, we may lose focus of love. Sometimes we focus too much on love, we may lose focus on money, and sometimes people trade that off. And so you always try to go to what's more valuable. Sometimes money is presented as more valuable because it can buy things, but the most valuable thing that you can do is spend time on the essence of love and the people that you have around you. Then love will take any money and enhance itself.
That's so true. That's so beautifully done, beautifully said. So now we are in our questions. Now we're in this world, and you know that it's ending, and you cannot take a lot of things. You cannot take anything with you, but with one thing. If you had to do that, what would it be?
If I can take one thing, physical
Just
thing,
one, it don't matter. The world is ending, and there's only one thing you can take with you. Because when I said, you're not there, people are like, am I dying? No. The world is ending, and there's one thing, only one thing you have the opportunity to take with you. What would it be?
my wife.
Ooh. Only because she's sitting here, right?
No.
That's not fair. I want another one.
No.
But no, explain yourself.
My wife and I have a journey of evolution and perfection, of creating what life is, which is becoming. And so we all have to become individually, but if you have a significant other, you can become with that. And some people get that privilege. It's a privilege because you have to pay that price, and not everybody's willing to pay the price for that privilege. And if you get to the point where you've paid enough to get enough of that privilege, you're never going to want to change that you've already paid for, because it's been part of your life. You've made that happen. You've created a business. You're a successful woman. You can't take that away from that's your privilege. You've paid that. So if you could take that with you, you would, because it's part of who you are. So with me and my wife, we've raised a family. We fell in love as young kids. We learned innocent love. We learned, raising a family. We learned, helping other people. We've learned to be rebellious and just still be ourselves and be different. And we've learned to love each other through no matter what the obstacle has been. And we've learned to grow from everything that we go through. I can't leave that behind.
Oh, so now that's beautiful. Because the next question was going to be, tell the most important person in your life something important. You just shared that. So we're going to skip that. We're going to ask you, what is the definition of success to you?
Definition of success is that gives the most value overall. So if you can make a choice in your life, what gives the most value overall? Not just for you, but maybe perhaps for somebody else too. And so success, I have this expression, it's called excellence always happens by design. And it never happens by coincidence. And so, success is to have the mindset of creating something better every single second. Can you think of how to make this better again? Even when you saw you had the energy spent to say, I have to figure this out. And then you come up with a solution, which is what we all do in life. But success is when you can take that and do it again.
And do it again.
And then do it again.
The repetition.
And then do it again. And then not just throwing it out, but having 50 or 100 different do it agains and say, this is the one for this one. And this is the one for this other situation, and knowing the difference. That's success. Success is when you know the difference of what you can do and then learn when to do that.
That's interesting. That's impressive. Do you have any regrets?
No, I don't have regrets. I've learned
Even sitting here right now, you don't have any regrets in your life?
No, I've passed the regret stage. I think regret is an illusion of failure that nobody has to accept. We are all living in a journey, and it's all good. You are in the right place. You are supposed to be listening right now. You're supposed to be going through that situation. You haven't failed. You've just going through an experience. Don't regret it. It's teaching you something. It's going to make you better. If you can stand away from your position and see it from a higher self, that position will shape you in a year from now to who you're going to become. You are not who you are. You're becoming someone that's going to change the world if you choose to hold that in your mind. So choose wisely who you want to become in a year from now.
Choose wisely who you want to become in the year from now. This is us. This is OneonOne. That's what we want to do. Teaches you, educating you, and elevate you. This OneonOne, I felt like I was being educated. I feel like I got elevated. It was one of the most important OneonOne for me, because I got to learn so much. And I want you guys to continue sharing the life, continue telling other people about it, because this is living a journey. Just like Mr. Armando just said, it's taking something and doing it over and over. OneonOne is the same prototype that I do every week with just a different person, but there's always a twist to it. Each person have a unique story, and I cannot wait to see you in the next journey. Do you have any last word, Mr. Armando?
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. It is always a pleasure to meet beautiful people that are making an impact in the world. You are a light. Your name, I think when I met you, I said that, and you are pure, joy to hear your smile, to hear your vision, to see you how you want to inspire youth, how you want to change, you want to love your family, you want to be remembered by how important we are and legacy. So you are listening to this, be inspired by Lucita, and tell somebody to come back to watch these shows, because they're making a difference in your life. And this is important because we change the world.
And that's what we're doing. Thank you for watching. See you next time on our OneonOne. Bye for now.